Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTGplace podcast. I am your host, Corey, and I'm here with my co-host, James, again. Say hi,
Hey,
James.
everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, and so we just want to plug a couple ways to support here. We have our Patreon. We have a Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, basically all over social media. You can find all those links at our new website URL, which is mtgplace.net. Has all of those links, so you can go there, check it out. It's pretty cool. We have all those links there. We're also doing a Twitter event right now. If you go and follow us on Twitter, which is at mtgplace, we have a post that is asking what commander card should we do our deck tech on. So if you go there and comment, we're going to pick one of them at the end of this month and do a deck tech video on it. Does that sound cool, James? What commander would you want to do a deck tech on?
Oh, God. Deck tech commander, huh? It's got to be something fun, right?
Yeah, hopefully something crazy challenging, right?
Yeah.
Not something we already have.
Exactly. I mean, we don't need another Derevi deck, right?
Right.
Dear God. Oh, this commander's good because it always costs 3. Me. Yeah, must be a rough life.
4, but same
Or,
thing.
sorry, 4. My bad.
Yeah. It's time for Magic News! So in Magic News today, we had a banning today. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I see the sheet here. We had some stuff happening, it looks like.
Yeah, so they went ahead and they banned Luris in Pioneer and Modern. So a lot of people are happy about
Gonzo.
that. Yeah, I was looking at it, and Luris is played in about 25 to 30% of decks in Modern.
That's pretty significant, to be honest. That definitely shows that this card was pretty powerful if that many decks were running it.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the few cards I ever remember being banned in Vintage, completely banned. So
that does not happen often. So
yeah, and then in Pauper they banned Galvanic Relay, Disciple the Vault, and Expedition Map. Disciple the Vault, I'm surprised took this long to be banned in Pauper, just because the fact that you can infinitely kill people with that.
Right. And so then Expo Map definitely makes sense because, fetching and stuff.
Yeah, and Tron is good in Pauper, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, we had the bannings today. The next thing about the news is we got a first look at the streets of New Campania. Campania? I can't pronounce that right. I don't know.
Capenna, that's what it looks like, yeah.
Capenna. Anyway, so that's going to be a new Magic set, and it's about 5 families, 5 powerful families in a city kind of fighting for their turf. And interesting enough, it's looking at the dates here, it looks like they put paper first again finally. So we're going to actually see the paper pre-release before the MTG Arena and online release.
I remember finally falling out of our pandemic ways here. That's going to be nice.
Yep, so that will be in-store pre-releases are April 22nd, and then it goes on Arena and Magic Online on the 28th.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks really fun.
Of April.
Yes. Good clarification. Oh yeah, this deck looks really fun. I don't know if we've ever had, this is, kind of like, reminds me of, maybe, sort of Godfathery, that kind of aesthetic is what this reminds me of. I don't know if we've ever really had that in a set in Magic yet, so this will be fun to explore.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do some 3-color pairs. They got some spoilers that they have launched with the dates of some cool full art basic lands they're doing. And then what the families are, you have Obscura is white, blue, black. Maestros is blue, black, red. Riveteers is black, red, green. Cabaretti is red, green, white. And the Brokers are green, white, blue. And they leaked as well that they're going to finish the Triome cycle, so the rest of the Triome lands will be in here.
Thank God, it's about time.
Yeah, the 3 color lands that are fetchable and also cycling.
That will be those Triome lands are pretty fantastic. It'll be nice to have them for all of the tribes because yes, I run some decks that are, not the typical 3-color tribes. So it'll be nice to finally have a chance to throw those in the decks that I run.
Yeah,
Also,
and then
these lands look amazing. I absolutely love this art. This art
oh
is
yeah, the
sick.
lands look cool. And looks like there's 3 arts for the Triomes too. 3 different alternate or 2 different alternate arts than the main art.
Yep.
So
Yep. Awesome.
And then they did spoil Broker's Ascendancy as well, which is one of the Broker's cards.
Yep.
So it's green, white, blue, one of each of them. For enchantment, that's the beginning of your end step. You put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. And that's only for 3 mana, so that's super
That's
good.
really good. Like, especially, I mean, and I'm thinking, like, Commander here. Like, that's a fantastic card for a lot of Commander decks, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's buffing all of your creatures and all your planeswalkers every
Like,
single turn.
if you're running, like, even if you're running something like Super Friends, this is something you want. That, happens to be those colors. Yeah, I'm excited to see what else they got here because definitely off to a good start.
Yeah, and they did say they're going to have the draft boosters, set boosters, and collectors boosters again, and they are having 5 commander decks launching with this set, 1 for each family.
Nice. Alrighty.
And then they are doing commander launch parties April 29th through May 1st. If you go there to participating LGS store, you can get a promo version of Swiftfoot Boots or Mindstone.
I like that Mindstone. Cool. That's a different art. That's pretty cool. The Swiftfoot boot art is the typical one, but the Mindstone art is really interesting. That's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then on to finance here. Let's talk about some cards that have been spiking recently from Kamigawa here. We got Hidetsugu Consumes All is up 300% to $12.
Doesn't surprise me. This card is pretty good, so I definitely expected that to happen.
And then we also got Sigil of the Empty Throne. That's a white card. Is spiking, I think mainly because of all the new enchantments in Neon Dynasty. And that's an Enchantment Matters card.
Yep. Nothing like flooding your board with angels.
And then every show here, we like to try and see if James here can guess the top 5 cards of this next set. This week is Antiquities. Or Antiques, I mean. Antiquities. I was right.
Yeah, it's Antiquities. That's right.
1994, man. All the way back there.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, do you know what the most popular cards are in that set?
I'm not even sure what's even in that set, to be honest.
Most expensive.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's no dual lands or power in here. There is lands, but...
Right. What's... I gotta think, what's even the symbol look like?
It's the anvil.
Oh, that's that one. Okay. Was there like Caracas or something else from that?
No, not. Well, I don't. As far as I know, Caracas is not it, but it could be.
Mm.
But the most expensive card, one of our buddies owns it.
Oh, is it Shops?
Yeah, it's Mishra's Workshop.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's $3,300 right now.
Yeah, those are really expensive right now. They're only going to go up.
The second most expensive card is Candelabra.
Makes sense.
Which is pay X, untap X lands. And then the third most expensive card, do you know what that is? It's another card that our buddy has.
Is it library?
It is not library. It is Mishra's Factory, the winter version.
Oh, yes. That makes sense. Yeah, Shops and Factory. Those are cool cards too. What are those going for now? I wonder.
Those are going for $500.
Okay, so not
Candelabra was
1,000
going
yet.
for 1,000. So, and then Transmute Artifact is fourth, going for 300, and the fifth one is Power Artifact, going for 300 as well.
Awesome.
So if you have any of those
stuff.
cards, you got some bank right now.
Oh yeah, I mean those have been worth a lot for a while, so feel like most people would know at this point.
So yeah, going into our main phase here. Today we're going back to the basics a little bit. We're going to talk about how to build a sealed deck here. It's the most popular pre-release format, and we just played it for the pre-release.
Yep, we were just at the well, it's been a couple weeks now, but yeah, we went to the Kamigawa Return to Kamigawa pre-release.
Yep.
And yeah, it's the first, at least it's the first one I've been to since Throne. I'm not sure. I think you've done some stuff more recently, but
yeah, I've gone to I think all of them. I don't know if I went to what was the set before this.
The D&D one, right?
I went to the D&D one. I think there was a set. Was there a set in between? I don't remember. I think I missed one, but I do almost all of them.
Yeah,
but anyways,
you hit a lot of them. I've been kind of out of the game for a bit, so yeah, this is.
So for our newer people, if you don't know how to make a good sealed deck, that's the thing you want to do if you go to a pre-release, because you get 6 packs, in your sealed kit here, and you get one promo card and a dice. There's a little pamphlet in there that tells you a lot of this information too, but sometimes it's nice to have people talk about it. So after you open your pre-release kit, what do you do, James?
So you generally get I'm not sure how many, is it like 5 or 6 sealed booster packs?
Yes, 6.
Yeah. So open them up and then basically start going by color and start, well, first of all, I divide them by color. So I see, what I have, multicolor, and then, like what tribes of multicolor I have, because that does matter. And then, of course, how many of each of the normal ones plus artifacts. And then once I get all that split up, then I find out what creatures I have, what enchantments I have, and whatnot, and I try to figure out what I can do from there.
Yeah, I do a similar thing. So the first thing I sort like you do all my cards into the color they are, and I set the rares aside so that I can look at those easily later. The gold cards are a hint. That's what's called a signpost uncommon, are the multicolored cards a lot of the time now. In every set since
that's been a
M10.
thing for a while, yeah. And those aren't 100% like the pre-release, the Kamigawa pre-release. My signposts were pretty crap, so I wasn't exactly able to follow that because I had signposts with basically they were like cards of the least of those colors that I had, so I was just like, well, I guess I'm not building that.
Yeah, it doesn't help necessarily as much in sealed as it does in draft, but just knowing what they are, just Googling them and looking them up before you go what the 10 of them are, what all of the archetypes are then of the decks.
Yeah, and that helps a lot because honestly, what beat me were decks that ran those archetypes, like the vehicles decks, and there was the enchantment deck, I think, if I remember right. There was a couple different types that were really good.
Yeah, that's what I ended up playing, was the blue-white vehicles deck.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, after I do all that, I then look at my rares and see what color stacks I have the most cards of. Then I just look through to see if I have any bombs. And a bomb is something that basically just wins you the game when you play it. Like Pack Rat in Return to Ravnica or Toxrill in Crimson Vow. You pretty much will win the game if it's not removed on site.
Yep. And yeah, definitely. You generally get at least one. So definitely try to incorporate your colors around that.
Yeah, and usually most decks are 2 colors and sealed, but some play more. If I do have a bomb and I don't have the most of those 2 colors that it's in, of a color that it's in, sometimes I'll splash it if it really is a super, super just win the game card.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost more than like 1 or 2 pips of a color.
Right. Yeah.
So then, I looking with all that information there. Then I try to decide what deck I'm building. And while I build my deck, I want to consider how much removal is in my deck. It's one of the key things. I feel you can never have too much removal, so you always want the most removal, the better.
Yeah.
And
Removal is really good.
the nice thing about this, the Kamigawa set, is a lot of the colors have removal. Like green has the fight spells, blue has the enchantments that lock down, white has the deal damage to attackers, and black just has the good old kill spells. And same with red, good old kill spells.
Yep, gotta love that. You basically have to remember each color kind of has their own strengths. So as you were saying, like black is really good at killing shit. White's really likes to either make a bunch of tokens or gain a bunch of life, generally, and so on. Red does damage. Blue does all sorts of counters things, draws cards, things like that.
Yeah, and then I usually like to build my deck with 23 cards and 17 lands. And usually you want 14 to 17 creatures. Unless it's like a spells matter deck, then you could maybe have 8 to 10. But usually in Sealed, you play a creature-based deck, so you want like 14 to 17. The magic number is like, a lot of people say 15 creatures. But 14 to 17 is probably where you want to be.
Yeah, generally, especially in Sealed, creature-based decks are gonna be generally the way you go, and they're definitely the easier ones to make. So, and will probably be the most successful. They're just easier to pilot and easier to build. So that's generally what people run.
Yeah, and then sometimes too when you're building a deck, you have too many cards and you have to cut, right? So what I'll look at if they're removal, if they're I think they're good or not, and then I'll look at the mana curve, right? So in a perfect world, you'd want to play something every single turn, right? So you'd want a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, right? And then the mana to play all those turns, right?
So your mana curve is very important. That's something you look at, once you figured out the colors you're playing and, kind of what deck you want to play. You figure out what your signposts are. Then you have to figure out like how much things are going to cost, and you don't want to have a bunch of 5 costs or something like that because you're going to be way too slow. You want to have more things that cost like depending 1, 2, maybe 3 than things are like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I always say 2 is probably the most important mana cost because if you have a high number of 2-drops, you can almost always play something on turn 2. Because turn 1, 1-drops are played nowadays, but a lot of people don't play a lot of 1-drops.
Usually just land go.
Yeah, the Sealed thing environment. Two is great because in turn 2 you can play something, right? You can immediately play something. And the other reason 2 is good is because then turn 3, if you don't have like a 3-mana card, you could still play another 2 mana, something that costs 2.
Yeah,
and then
or even 2 and 1, if you happen to have a 1-drop.
Right. And then on turn 4, you could play 2 2-drops if you don't happen to have a 4-drop that's really good.
Yep. Yeah, and you really just want to, basically, well, depending on what your deck's achieving, but generally you want to, get a board presence as quick as possible because you don't want to fall behind.
Yeah, and then once you get to your 4, 5, 6, 7 drops, first of all, if you're playing a 7-drop, you basically want it to win you the game.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'd probably stick to 6 or less. 5 and 6 mana cards, you want them to be big. Like if you got like a worm that's like a 6 for a 6/6 worm, that's good. That's a big thing. A 5 mana card, you want it to either be something that's gonna 2 for 1 your opponent, or something that's gonna bring a creature back of yours, your best one, or something that's gonna be really good.
And the other thing to keep in mind too is when you are this has to do with mana curve as well, but when you look at the mana cost of the card, you want to make sure that you're running, like especially if you're running more than a couple colors, make sure you're running lands that can support things that cost multiple of one color. For example, something might cost 3 blues or something like that. You better make sure you got a lot of blues in that deck to run that card.
Yeah, when choosing your 17 lands, I usually count the pips, and sometimes you're really heavy in one color and you only have like 5 white cards. Well, then you might only need 4 white lands in the deck. But in a perfect world, you're running about half and half, and you can go 9 one way and 8 the other, depending on which one you have a little bit more of. So
yeah, but yeah, definitely. Like if you're splashing in for like a bomb, for example, but that bomb has like three of one color, well, that might not work out very well.
Yeah, if you were doing that, you would hope that green's one of your colors, so you could fetch out the lands you need.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to spin up a draft sim here, do a sealed pool. Let's see what we get.
All right.
All right, so we got a couple white cards here. I'm going to stick with. So we got a lot of white cards. We basically got a decent pool here. We have almost the same number of cards of every color, which is kind of weird. That almost never happens.
No, it really doesn't.
But some of our bomb cards, we got AO the Dawn Sky, the White Dragon.
That's pretty good.
And we got Kami of Transcendence, the green guy. And we got we got Saturo. And we got a lot of gold cards here. We got Oni Cult Anvil, Silver Fur Master, 2 Gloom Shriekers, 2 Invigorating Hot Springs, and Naomi.
So it sounds like with that, there's a lot we could do with that. That you got lots of options there, basically.
Yeah, so let's see. As far as removal goes, we got, Life of Tashiro for black is good. We got Soul Transfer. So black, we really only have like 3 removal spells. So our black, honestly, we have a lot of it, but it's not that great. So we probably ain't going to play black. White seems really good. We have a lot of white cards, and we have a lot of
support for it.
Support for that. So we'll probably play white. And we actually have 3 Moth Rider patrols, which are 1/1 flyers.
Yeah, that's
the tap down creature ability. Our blue is not great, so we probably ain't playing blue. So now, do we want to play red or green with it? Let's see. Our red's honestly not that great either, so we're probably going to do green-white.
Slesia, very, very solid.
So we'll put the Kami in there, and that's an enchantment-based theme. So put this Kami in there. We'll put this Arachi Merge guy in here who adds 2 mana if he's modified. We'll add in this stuff. We'll add in some Dragon Kami Reborn, some Favor of Chukai. Ooh, we got a Harmonious Emergence, which turns your land into a 4/5. And then, of course, AO, the Kyoto Soul of Kamigawa, our white is just super good. So we're basically going to add every single white card we have here.
So we're going to have a nice solid white deck, and then we just basically splash in green maybe, or maybe red. Whichever is the better one that's, we have the better cards to do what that color likes to do, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So green likes to fetch and play creatures, and red likes to blow crap up. So, and deal damage.
So the full deck here is we got 3 Moth Rider patrols, which is 1 for a 1/1 flyer with pay 4 tap target creature.
Which is pretty nice.
2 Era of Enlightenments, which are scry 2, then or sagas that you scry 2, then gain 2 life, then it becomes a 2/2 first strike. We got a Wandering Intervention, which is 2 to deal 4 damage to attacking or blocking creature. It's an instant. And then we got the Kitsune Blade Blizzard guy, which is 3 for a 2/2 double striker. Then we have the Fall of Lord Kondo, which exiles something with mana value 4 or greater, and then turns it later on, because the chapter 2 doesn't really matter. You gain control of all permanents you own. And then the last chapter, it flips into a 1/3 defender that when it dies, you draw a card.
That's not bad.
And then we have Kyoto, the Soul of Kamigawa, the rare dragon spirit that's white and 3 for a 3/3 flash flying that makes another thing indestructible when you flash it in.
Yep.
And then our
covers your
bomb.
board.
Yep, and then our bomb is AO, the Dawn Sky, so another white dragon.
Big white dragon.
And then we got the Kami of Transcendence, which is 2 for a 2/2 Trampler spirit that gets bigger, a 1/1 counter every single time an enchantment card was cast. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you enchantment was put in your graveyard, you get to return them to your hand. And then you get the Merge Keeper, which adds mana if he's modified. With the Dragon Kami Reborn, which can let us play stuff for free. And then we got 2 Favor of Jukais, which is an enchanted creature for +3/+3. And you can also discard it to give a creature +3/+3 and reach if you need to.
Yep.
And then we got the Geothermal Kami, which is 3 and a green for a 4/3 spirit that returns an enchantment card to your hand and you gain 3 life. And then we have the enchantment that makes a land into a 4/5 Vigilance Haster.
That card is really good. Yep. I lost to that card so hard at the pre-release. It's like it's so
only 4
busted.
mana too.
It's ridiculous. Like, why is that card like it costs nothing and they're this land that's just gigantic that you can't deal. Like, that is hard to deal with in sealed. Yeah, like, unless you're playing black, it is very hard to deal with.
Then we got a Chukai Preserver, which is 3 and a green for an enchantment creature druid. That is a 3/3 that puts a 1/1 counter on something when it comes in, or you can channel it to put a 1/1 counter on 2 creatures you control.
Yep, counters are always good.
Then we got the Blossom Prancer. It's a 4/4 reach for 5 mana. That when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of the library and put a creature enchantment into your hand. Then we got the Greater Tanuki, which is 6 for a 6/5 Trampler, or you can discard it for 3 mana to search for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped.
Yep, that's always good.
That's really good. And then
mana fetch.
We're playing 2 artifacts that are just 1 for 0/0 apprentices that enter with a 1/1 counter on it, so they're 1 for 1/1s, and when it dies, you can put its 1/1 counter on another creature you control. That's
really nice. That reminds me of like the modular days way back when.
Yeah, so I think
just move your stuff around.
I actually wish I could play this deck in an event because I feel like it'd be super good.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good sealed stuff.
We're a little light on removal in general. Like, there's only like 1 removal card, but it's just got so many big things. I think you can just attack.
I don't think it would matter, as long as you're always going to be in control basically with that kind of deck. They have to react to you, and if they can't react to you, then you just win.
Yep. So yeah, so sealed is awesome. Hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you guys. I'm going to go into we're going to go into some more segments here. Corey's crazy card. So Corey's crazy card today is Fighting Chance, which is 1 red for an instant. For each blocking creature, you flip a coin. If you win the flip, that creature deals no combat damage this turn. So this is a crazy card because you flip a coin for every single creature tagging. I mean, check that. For every single creature blocking. And then if you win the flip, it deals nothing. So it like fogs them.
Yep. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Crazy stuff.
And then you got a jungle card this week. James's Jungle.
Yeah, so James Jungle this week, it's going to be Natural Order. So anyone who's played Legacy will know of this card. But it's 2 green for a sorcery that has, as an additional cost to Natural Order, sacrifice a green creature, and then you search the library for a green creature card, put it into the battlefield, and shuffle your library. So, you basically just search for Creator Hoof and swing for a crap ton for 4 mana.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just pretty good. So, yeah, that card is very busted, and that's why it's played in Legacy.
Yeah, and that's all we got for today. But again, remember, we have the event going on Twitter. Go follow _MTG_place on Twitter. and check out our tweet and comment what you want us to do our first deck tech on, and we'll pick somebody at the end of the month. We're also on other social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of that. And you can find all of our socials and affiliate links and ways to support us at mtgplace.net. Please share this podcast with your friends and others who love Magic, because we are trying to grow our community. We have a Discord and a Patreon you can join and hang out with us at. And thanks for listening.
Appreciate the support, guys. Thanks for listening.